All right, welcome everybody to the Adult Ed call. And I think Arbany is on and is going to kick us off with a few updates here at the beginning. I do just want to note that Arbany will not be able to stay with us for the entire call. So right after her little section, we will do a quick pause for quick questions on her section of the presentation, if you need to talk with her first before she has to hop off. All right, next slide.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope that the new year is kicking off to a great start. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome all of you to a brand new program year and thank you for all that you do for adult learners across North Carolina. As we begin this new year, we want to build on the success of the past year. We, of course, exceeded our MSGs. We'll talk about that in some slides later in the presentation. And of course, remain focused on helping students achieve their educational, workforce, and personal goals. And we're going to realize this through collaboration, innovation, and commitment, of course, to excellence, as we always do in North Carolina. And we will continue expanding opportunities and, of course, strengthening outcomes for learners and the communities that we serve across the 100 counties in North Carolina. Next slide, please. So I've had a few questions about the workforce diploma program. And so to be very transparent, we are in our infancy stages with this program. And so I presented to the board last month and it was just approved. So the workforce diploma program, the North Carolina General Assembly has approved the workforce diploma program. The biggest question that everyone has is it will there be a negative impact to CCR programs? The answer is no. There will be no adverse effects on CCR programs as a result of the implementation of the Workforce Diploma Program. This will be a complement to the programs. What we want to do is use this program to expand educational opportunities. So the program is designed again to complement and enhance existing adult high school programs and opportunities across the state. And so, how we're going to approach this is that the community colleges that do not have an adult high school program, we're going to start in their service area first. And so, more information to come. Again, we're in the infancy stages. If you have an existing program, you probably won't hear from us initially. However, if you do not have an adult high school program, we will be reaching out to you. Just another quick note, the Workforce Diploma Program, it serves students 21 and older. And a lot of our adult high school students are coming out of school at the age of 16, that sweet spot, 16 to 21. But you have to be at least 21 years of age for this particular program. We will host Dr. Rob Van Dyke and I will host a formal information session about the Workforce Diploma Program as soon as we have gathered more information and how we're going to implement this. We are also working with NCDPI to make sure that this program is implemented properly. And then also Sandra Thompson, she is back. She is going to serve as our Workforce Diploma Program consultant. So she'll be leading this work for us. But again, be on the lookout for information sessions and more information to come. Next slide, please. Also, mark your calendars in very light ink. We are planning the Workforce Summit for Spring 27. I know you may have heard of this, but I just want to keep reiterating every month. We are planning the Spring We Over Workforce Summit. We're going to bring together all four titles. The date and the location are to be determined. We will have final event details, and that will be announced and sent to you via email by December 1 of 2026. We want to use this as an opportunity for our frontline staff to connect with workforce partners and other local workforce development board directors. We've heard during the new director sessions that, I know I'm supposed to be doing this work, but I'm not exactly sure who my point of contact is. So that's the point of this summit. And it's not going to be a talking at you summit. It's going to be a real hands-on summit where you walk away with not only connections but plans to serve the adult learners in your area. Of course, we're also going to tie this to integrated education and training because the Title 1, 3, and 4 partners can help us strengthen our IET programs by financially supporting a lot of those things that we have to pay for our students. So more information, December 1, you will have a date and location for the summit. And we are expecting this to be a blockbuster event, and we are really excited about it. And I think there's another slide about the Workforce Summit, maybe not. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to stop here and open it up for questions that you may. Oh, I have one more thing I need to add. Rebecca, you can go ahead and click over to the funding and budget piece. Just the FYI, Dr. Rob Van Dyke and we submitted the performance based funding for the program year. So that has to go to state board this month. It's on the finance committee's calendar. So please be on the lookout for that as well. Now I will open it up for questions.
And feel free to type in the chat or raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask Arbany your questions.
Hey, everybody. Arbany is the workforce diploma program. Does that have anything to do with like the email that came out today from CASAS about the NEDP? Is there any
No,
connection?
no, that has nothing to do with that. The Workforce Diploma Program is a program funded strictly by North Carolina's General Assembly. No. Okay, but thank you, Jennifer. That's a great question. Melissa Morlock says, based on the October 1st due date, will we get the budget form by September 1st? Melissa, you probably will not get the budget form by September 1st. We usually give about 2 to 3 weeks to complete the budgets. But if we need to adjust that timeline, we will do so as necessary. But we want to go ahead and make sure that your budgets are processed and uploaded to all the correct personnel by October 1 so that you can start spending down on your funds. And Ann says, is the workforce diploma only for community colleges or is it open to CBOs? Again, Ann, we're in the infancy stages of this process. Again, typically it's open to any adult learner that wants to earn a workforce diploma. So it's not just community colleges, it can also be CBOs as well. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, want to respect everyone's time. Thank you so very much for all. Okay, Nicole Worley wants to know what other states have workforce diploma. So there are a couple other states that have this type of program. They don't call it the workforce diploma program, but Ohio, Indiana, Mississippi, Georgia. So there are a few other states that have a similar program. But again, it's typically no impact to the existing adult education programs and or the adult high school programs that exist within those states. So we've already talked to other state directors just to make sure, again, that the workforce diploma program is a complement. It definitely will not be competing with your programs. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Carla Parnell to talk about funding and budgets, and I hope everyone has a very nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arbany.
Thank you, Arbany. For the funding and budget updates, the Finance Office will post allocations this Friday, August 28th. The posting site is going to be under our Finance tab. It's the Budget Policy Allotment and Summaries tab. Under that section, State Aid Categorical Allocations and Carry Forward. That's a long title, but it's very detail specific to where you can find that information on our website. The 6 million adult literacy performance-based funding is awaiting approval, as Arvany said earlier. And the adult literacy funds fall into the Propel NC Workforce Sector 4. And another update is budget office hours invitations have been sent out to the directors. They will be held on September 14th as well as September 28th. If you have not received that invitation, please let me know. Or if you have questions and concerns about that, it's the total optional office hours. We usually do not record those sessions. We have found that providers are more open and speak more freely whenever it's not recorded and it's more of a casual environment. But we are still happy to work with providers one-on-one if you have any issues or concerns with your budget. And the budget due date has been set for October 1st. And that's all the updates that I have at this time.
Okay, thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you.
So I'm actually the next person in today's budget call. So for those of you who may already be aware, NC Title II, that was the website that hosted everything to do with adult education with regards to accessing content, materials, resources. That has been sunset. That's why I wanted to use this lovely picture of sunset over the Smoky Mountains. We have moved back to the System Office website. And so I did want to take a brief moment during today's statewide call to make sure that you all know how to access the content that was available on NC Title II now that it has moved over to the System Office website. So this is a map of the pages, and I will conduct a very brief demo because I know this might be confusing for some. This is a map of the pages that hold all of our content with regards to adult education. So it's called the Federal Programs landing page. From there, you can either access information for Perkins V, WIOA Title II, or monitoring and compliance. From there, there are multiple subpages. So there's an adult education page. There's a provider's hub where all our manuals are currently being stored. There's a professional development page, just like we had devoted at NC Title II. There's a performance and accountability page and adult secondary education page. And this information that I have in bulleted listed below, that is, those are the pages from NC Title II, the content we pulled from those pages and then moved them to these pages on the System Office website. So for those of you who are familiar with NC Title II and you were using it in the past, if you were referencing director resources or instructor resources, those pages, you can now find them on adult education, on the provider's hub. Same thing with like grants and compliance, that's now moved over to the provider's hub, et cetera, et cetera. But really, a demo would make more sense than just showing you a tree. And so that's what I am going to be doing right now, if I can. I think that was a seamless transition. I hope we're all seeing the website right now. So this is the System Office website. Please let me know if you do not see this. From here, if you want to find adult education resources, where do you go? You're going to click on college faculty and staff. So that should now be in yellow, highlighted spotlit in yellow. If you scroll down, not if, when you scroll down, you will see a federal programs card. From here, this is the landing page I had mentioned before. And so again, you can access Perkins V, WIOA Title II, or monitoring and compliance. So all adult education resources, again, once we go to WIOA Title II, if you keep scrolling down, you can see all bunch of important, very important stuff. Down here is where you can access those other pages I mentioned before. So the provider's hub, for example, this is where all the manuals live, and also grant management resources, instructional program resources, Again, scrolling down, we want to navigate to other pages, adult secondary education. Again, this is where you can find this information. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. So just to wrap up, because I know I don't have too much time, I do want to show you our professional development page to promote our credentialing series. We have the dates for both the fall and the spring term for both the credentialing courses as well as the boot camps. So this is where you can register for those courses. It starts first with the instructor credentialing courses, and then as you scroll down, you can also access the boot camps if you're interested in joining. So we highly, highly encourage that your instructors sign up if they haven't joined any of our credentialing courses or boot camps before. Again, anything with regards to professional development, it's now all located on this page, including convocation if you'd like to register for that. Or not if you haven't registered for that. So to go back, if I can, to our PowerPoint. Again, I hope I can do this. Here we go. I believe it's now Dan's turn.
Yes, and so it is sort of Dan's turn. Lee will still be doing the demonstrating, but the number one question we get, Lee and I, is where is the PD archives? And because we sunset NC Title II, we have temporarily moved the PD archives to our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to by following that link. And Lee is going to actually show you in the online how to find our PD archives. If you type in NC Title II, but you need to put the NC Title II all together because Lee and I played with it this morning. And if you don't do that, you're not going to find it.
Yes.
So put NC Title II PD archives. It will pull it right up. That's our little logo for the PD archives. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And every time we upload a video, you will get an alert that there is a video you can watch. All that we're uploading to the videos are the webinars that we do. So it's something that people regularly, all day long, ask, where is this recording? I did also want to mention that we are fully accessibly compliant or compliant with accessibility at this point, which does take us longer to post the videos and especially the PowerPoints. So I used to be able to post them instantly almost by the next day. We now ask that you give us at least a week, and it might take more than that because it doesn't just involve me and Lee. It involves whoever the subject matter expert is to make sure that their PowerPoint is compliant. For example, we did a webinar yesterday for Ellie. They have not yet sent me a compliant PowerPoint, so that won't be posted until that happens. So we hope that all of you join our YouTube channel. We do have a permanent solution coming with a website called Learning Stream, but Lee and I are just going through the training for that right now.
Correct.
And that will take several weeks. So it'll be a while before we have everything moved over and ready to share that with you. But it will
Correct.
actually be much better. And directors will finally have what they've always wanted, which is the ability to ask one of your staff members to watch a webinar and we can provide proof that they did it. So I'm excited about that. They will get a certificate. You'll know that they really did watch the webinar and you can pay them for that hour that they spent watching it.
Correct. And one more thing I just wanted to demo again for our temporary repository until we move to the permanent solution is if you wanted to access resources connected to that webinar, so monitoring and compliance, we'll use that as the example. You can access it in the description of the webinar or the training. So the PowerPoint, if there are flyers or documents or any other resources, that will all be linked within the description of the video on YouTube, because that is also something that people contact us about, is accessing the PowerPoint or other materials. So that is where you can find that. Okay, so again, let's try this.
And as a little aside to our team, especially, Lee doesn't trust me to upload the documents. So if you have a document you want uploaded to a webinar, it needs to at least include Lee. I don't know why I'm not trusted to do that. I do the videos. Anyway,
That's not a true
also,
statement.
we also wanted to remind everyone that convocation is coming up very soon. It's going to be a wonderful time. You're going to just be floored by the food that we've arranged for you for convocation for all of you who are coming. But to remind you that today is the deadline for registration, and we really want you to register by today because the catering is very expensive. So we have to give an accurate number within this week. I have to give a number of how many people we're expecting for convocation. At the moment, we are missing a large number of providers. So we do really encourage you to attend convocation. It will be a really good time, but also we share a lot of important information. We consider it the most essential meeting we offer each year. So if you haven't registered, no one from your registration has um, Rebecca's sending me messages while I'm talking. So if no one from your college or CBO has registered, please get registered today. She's asking if it's required. The short answer is yes. We don't put it quite that strongly in the provider's guide, but it will be that strong in the future. This is a very important meeting. We want everyone to be there. And then I'm supposed to talk really fast because there's a lot to talk about today. So just a reminder about what's coming up. Why did the screen change, Lee? We have CCR
I think you've
convocation.
got plenty of time, Dan.
Okay, good. We have CCR convocation, as we just mentioned. The North Carolina Community College Conference will be October 14th through 16th. The common question I get is whether the CBOs need to attend that. We will not be offering any secret information there. It's really a community college conference, so no, the CBOs do not need to attend that. We will not have a pre-conference. We will not have any dedicated meetings for directors there. It's solely for the community colleges. But we would like the CBOs, if possible, if they have the time and money, the NC Works Partnership Conference will be a great thing for them to attend. And then I guess we just changed our mind about the Center for Nonprofits Conference. It's coming up, but currently falls under, I didn't do this. Rebecca, did you do that? Okay.
I did, and the only reason I left this on this slide is because we had announced it in June, and then there was the temporary spending pause, and I understand that this particular one does fall under the temporary pause.
Okay, we had that discussion recently and didn't come to a conclusion. So I'm glad you got the conclusion. So for now, you really can't attend that with your federal funds. Yes, and Jennifer's asking me a question. Let me figure out the chat. I'm sure that you're correct, Jennifer, because I have gotten dozens of emails about it. We would still like you to prioritize attending convocation. Thank you. And everybody else can read Jennifer's message that it's about, the concern is the 5% admin, which is a concern. So that's the answer is we would still like you to attend. Nicole is asking if colleges can bring more than 3 people. So I can't give an official answer to that at the moment because we haven't finished registering today. That's why I have a deadline of today. But at the moment, you could bring 20 people, Nicole. Don't. But it's probably not going to be a problem for anyone who wants to bring more than 3. All right, the last thing, we are mentioning this every time we have a webinar. The North Carolina Community College System Conference is coming up in October. If you're a community college employee, please plan to attend that. And I think that was my last thing. Yes, I'm glad I don't talk about this. Jessica.
Sorry, no, it's me.
Oh,
Dan.
Courtney.
Wow, what a setup. Let's redo that, Dan. How about go ahead, redo
Now
the
you get to meet the fabulous Courtney who's going to talk about performance and accountability.
applause. Thank you. Hey guys, if you don't know me, I'm Courtney Jackson. I work with Jessica Rieger for federal program performance and accountability, which basically means all of your data in the ins and outs of everything that scope covers. So today we wanted to give you guys a brief update since we did have the end of the program year. We just put together some numbers similar to what I send you guys on a monthly basis, but this is a statewide overview comparing our most recent program year, 25-26, to the previous or the program year before that, 24-25, just to give you guys a more comprehensive overview of where the state as a whole is sitting and how we are progressing using some of these new initiatives and how you guys are collectively we can tell, the good things are working together and you guys are doing great work. So I will briefly run through these, starting with the MSG rate. So again, in comparison to the 25-26, 24-25 program years, our MSG measurable skill gain, I promise y'all I can talk, remained strong at around 50.2%, so that's good versus the two program years. Both our 12-hour and our 40-hour retentions, both of those did increase slightly, but otherwise they did stay somewhat the same, but any increase is a good increase, as well as our HSE subtest gains. Those have increased, so it's very good to see that you guys are working with Jennifer Bean and identifying those students that can get into tests, so we are getting those MSGs. And also, our IET gains increased by 3%, which is awesome. We love to see that. We love to see you guys utilizing these IETs and working with our team here to get those approved and utilizing those in your programs. Now for the decreasing or areas, that we could improve on. HSE gains, surprisingly, it did decrease by 0.5%, which you would think, for the subtest gains, hopefully we're getting people more towards the finish line, but it could be that they are taking a little bit longer to get to that point for the full graduation for their full HSE, or they're just not getting to that point. Hopefully, it is the first option. It's just taking them a little bit longer, which is okay. We did see a decrease in the number of students that we served, as well as the number of participants that we had. So, just a reminder, participants are students with 12 or more hours. And that's a little bit of a double-edged sword, considering that our MSG rate did stay within a good range, and we did see some improvements on some MSG types. We're doing a little bit more digging into that and the reasons behind maybe why our participant numbers and our overall students served are fluctuating. So if you guys are seeing any trends, please feel free to reach out to me or Jessica. We would love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, our post-test rate did decrease as well. I think that is partly because of our IETs and alternative placements, which is, again, another double-edged sword. We love seeing that students are able to utilize different types of placement options. But for the students who are eligible for post-testing, it is still on the decline, as well as, of course, with that decline comes a decline in the pre and post test gains. And next slide, please. So now that I've got all that information in your head for you guys to go and think about and evaluate with your own data that I sent recently, I will just move on with a couple of updates for you guys, and that'll be it for me today. I did want to let you guys know I did send an email out at this point. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Honestly, time is, I don't even know. I think it was 2 weeks ago, about the new LEIS forms that are posted on the website that Lee did share with you guys earlier in the slide. We are on the performance and accountability landing page. And we did have to update these LEIS forms for accessibility purposes, which did take some time. And we did upload a completely digital and a printable form. So the two look the same, but one is a completely fillable PDF, and the other just has the fields omitted for printing purposes, as well as the barriers to employment form. And we did create a LEIS walkthrough training video that you can use to familiarize yourself with the new LEIS, though it is the same questions overall that we've always seen. Or you can use that for, of course, your new employees to kind of get them used to helping students fill out that form. We are still encouraging people to use ContinuEd. However, we've talked about this over about the past 6 months, and it is a completely digital LEIS alternative to the even digital LEIS form or printable LEIS form, where our students can completely self-report all LEIS questions through ContinuEd. Therefore, it's transferred into Advances, and all your team has to do is go and review and approve. So it completely negates any manual data entry. If you do have any questions about that, we do have a ContinuEd section with some FAQs on our performance and accountability section of the website. And if you have any additional questions, you can always feel free to reach out to either me or Jess. And our contact information is on the website as well, for those of you who don't have it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This next section is mine, and it's leading instruction forward. And it is a statewide professional learning series designed to strengthen instruction across our adult education programs. Many of you already received an email back around August 17th asking you to giving you a brief introduction of this initiative and asking you to identify an instructor in your program to participate. The series will provide monthly 1-hour virtual sessions focused on practical, observable strategies that instructors can use in the classroom. Our goal is to create a shared instructional focus across programs, support more responsive teaching, and build a statewide network of instructional leaders who can carry these practices back to their local programs. For our directors, an important action is selecting one instructor or instructional leader who can participate consistently and share the learning locally. So our informational session for this is tomorrow. Those invitations went out. If you did not get an invitation for the informational session, please email me and I'll send you the link. Some of you have already submitted the survey with the instructor and their email listed that you'd like to participate. I thank you for that. The due date for that is September 8th, because our first webinar in that series is, I believe, September 29th on diagnostic teaching, and that one will be run by Susan Honeycutt and me. But each month it will be a different topic focus, and that I will talk more about Susan and I tomorrow in the informational session. So we just wanted to remind you, I know you've already gotten some information about this, but we wanted to remind you about this initiative and the upcoming informational session. So that's all I have. Thank you.
I'm muted, of course. So this last section of the call is just, there's been, as we've been moving into this new program year, Albany has been working with our team for different initiatives, and leading instruction forward is one. Workforce diploma program is one that, of course, we received from the General Assembly. But then there are just other things that we do just as part of our regular annual planning. And one that Albany has asked me to work on, which I was thrilled to receive, was the Strengthening CBO Impact Initiative. And this is looking at kind of the health and vibrancy and sustainability of our community-based organizations as much as possible, and really trying to help lean on the things that they bring to adult literacy to help enhance our adult literacy services across the whole state, but also make sure that we are providing targeted supports for each of the CBOs, because they just operate a little differently than the colleges do and may need different kinds of technical assistance. So one of the things I will be working with community-based organizations on is making connections with their colleges where it's appropriate or where most makes sense. So if I'm reaching out to colleges to help facilitate better partnership, just be on the lookout for that, and also looking for opportunities to enhance workforce alignment, because CBOs are very heavily dependent on those pre-test and post-test level gains. But it's just harder for them to test students as often because of the way the attendance patterns tend to flow. So I'm very excited to be working with them, and Literacy Together does a great job of getting their student and tutor stories out there. So their website was very easy for me to pirate a photo from. This is a photo from their ESOL program, tutoring pair. So want to give them credit. I didn't ask for permission first because it was publicly available, but I did want to highlight the work that the CBOs are doing. So move on to the next. Next slide. Oh, as part of the support for CBOs, but also for other colleges, we have Amy working with us this summer, or not this summer, this fall. And she is offering to match adult students with fluency tutoring support. And so Amy, if you're still on the call, I'll let you go ahead and speak to that. Actually, wait, before you do that, I see Erin has her hand up.
Yes.
Erin?
Sure, I was just going to ask a question about CBOs in general. So my understanding, maybe it's a misunderstanding, but I thought we had just been notified that the state was changing its funding formula so that these federal funds could only be used to pay instructors now, which basically means we're going to lose our funding because we don't pay instructors. We use the WIOA funds to pay our program directors. So I'm wondering how the strengthening CBO impact is falling in line with the CBOs are losing all of their funding now.
Are you speaking in regards to the 5% admin cap on the budgets?
No, my director said she understood that the formula was changing such that the funds could only be used for paid instructors. Maybe that's wrong, and that would be great news if that's wrong, but
I think that's a little bit of I think it's coming from the 5% admin. Anything above 5% of the federal funds spent on administrative requires negotiation with NCCCS, and that's based on federal statute or regulation, I guess. And so, and I'm probably using the wrong terminology here. So it is an adjustment to our budget form. And my understanding is that there's a negotiation that happens. So if 5% admin is too restrictive for a particular subgrantee, they negotiate that with the system office. And that was described in the budget webinars that came out recently. So you can go back to the YouTube channel and rewatch those if you want, or we can get in touch with the budget team and clarify, but I have not received any notification of funds being pulled from CBOs or any sort of a stop funding announcement.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct. So my guess is, like Rebecca said, that there was confusion on how that 5% admin can be negotiated up to cover more administrative costs based on what the subgrantee feels meets the definitions of those. The formula in which we use to disperse the Title II funds has not changed. It'll go straight how it was allocated from the board back in July. So you have those, and you just still have to meet the same requirements and the same monitoring and the same budget and continuous monitoring process that we have here. So I apologize for the confusion, but please feel free to reach out to myself, Arbany, or Rebecca, because we were kind of talking about the CBOs, but you are not cut out. You are still a valued member of the adult education community, which helps us reach our students. So
Okay, we'll reach out for more clarification. Thank you very much.
And I'm glad you asked that question because I didn't realize that there it had translated across it in that way. So I appreciate you bringing that up. All right, Amy.
So most of you have heard from me. If you haven't heard from me, reach out. I won't do the whole presentation here, just to say that in the spring, some of the community colleges did have learners that participated in a study. That study was very successful, and so now we've moved on to a program, and we went from 4 tutors to 22 tutors. So we can probably accommodate about 54 to 58 learners. Lots of room as you're starting your programs. If you think you have students that could benefit from this, you can reach out to me on this email. I also now have an NC Community Colleges email. I check them all. And that's my personal cell. So if you think you have learners that can benefit from some fluency tutoring, please reach out and we'd be glad to try to hook them up.
And Amy, I understand that this is in addition to the work that they are already doing with their college or CBO. It's not to replace any of that.
Absolutely.
And that it's really to bring them kind of up to that 5th grade level. But if they're a more advanced student, then this might not be what they need. Is that right?
Yes. And we've also expanded now to include ESL, assuming that that student is proficient enough in English to take tutoring in English. We're opening up. The multilinguals in the study did really well. So
awesome.
There
will be a flyer posted on the YouTube with this attachment or with this presentation as well. So you can use the flyer to help promote it with your students if you'd like.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the last update I have is that we are moving forward still with the ability to benefit. We've moved into an implementation cohort stage. So the colleges listed here have all, their presidents have all committed to have teams at their college work to develop a career pathway program, submit it to Department of Education for approval to become an eligible career pathway program for ability to benefit, which would allow an adult education student to access federal student aid for their post-secondary education courses before they graduate with their high school credential. And these colleges will be contributing to the North Carolina Ability to Benefit Handbook and are working together monthly as a community of practice to implement and discuss some of the challenges that they're encountering as they go so that we're better prepared as a state to continue this work. And there are some other colleges that I'm happy to work with any other college that is interested. So if your college is not on this list, it doesn't mean we're not here for you. So please feel free to reach out if you have questions about ability to benefit. But I did want you to know kind of who the lead colleges are in the state for now.